BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, the parents of a 23-year-old girl from Luton who died from a brain tumour say they couldn't be prouder of her achievements. Amani passed away on Monday after being diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer. After her diagnosis in 2020, she became a devoted campaigner and fundraiser for the Brain Cancer Research Trust. Now, last year, Amani spoke to BBC Three Counties Radio about her work.
We hold ourselves up as this country that is, so good when it comes to helping people in their darkest hours in terms of health. And it wasn't until I fell ill that I realised that that's not the case, because if the money hasn't been invested and the treatments aren't working, someone needs to explain why that is. We were so lucky that we were able to do the GoFundMe and get the money, but that isn't the case for a lot of families. Everyone said to me that these are the best years of your life, you're just at the peak, I was like, just graduated, engaged to be married, and my whole life fell apart, and I just feel like I've been robbed, and maybe, it won't be like that in a few years. That's what I hope anyway, if not for me, then for other families.
Well, Amani's dad, Karim, is on the line to talk about his incredible daughter. Good morning to you, sir.
Hi.
I speak for the whole team when I say that we are so very sorry for your loss, which is so very recent, and you want to share your pride in her, don't you? She managed to achieve so much.
I mean, she was an amazing young woman, and and that was the case before she fell ill as well. But in these last 22 months, I mean, her wish to make a change in not just her life, but all those going through the same pain, terminal brain cancers and other cancers, made me so immensely proud that, I mean, the amount of messages we've received, running into the thousands from all around the world, I'm just puffed up with pride, I've lost my beautiful daughter. And of course, I wouldn't wish that on anyone else. But at the moment, I'm just riding a wave of, joy and pride of what my beautiful daughter's achieved.
You talk about those messages that you, like you said, you've received from all over the world. Can you tell me about some of those, please?
Yeah, I mean, one that really struck a chord with me was, it was a teacher that she'd contacted us and said, I've been following Amani's story for some time now, and I've had my own health issues, and I've always been really worried about telling anyone about them, whereas Amani's just put her whole life in public, showing all the raw details. And this teacher, she suffered from epilepsy for a number of years and never told anyone, and she was embarrassed about it or didn't want to talk about it. She'd had a driving license taken off her. And of course, one of the side effects of brain tumour cancers is seizures, which Amani had talked about. And she said, Amani gave me the strength to go in front of my whole classroom and tell them, I have epilepsy. I can't drive. I can't do the things that many of you can do. I've never told you about this before, but Amani has given me the strength to, share this information with you. And I'm no longer scared about, suffering from what I suffer. And we had numerous other messages from people saying they'd had depression, and then when they heard about Amani's stories, it given the strength to, to move on with their lives. And we had a lovely story about a lady who, like Amani, wanted to be a social worker, and she'd started suffering from depression and stopped pursuing her career. After reading Amani's story, inspired her to return back to her studies and go on and try and complete her and qualify as a social worker so she can make a positive change.
Some amazing messages to get. And there were over 1,000 people at her funeral too. Can you describe what that was like?
I mean, it's surreal, really, because obviously, it's hard for you. Sometimes you think, at my own daughter's funeral, you almost like step out of your body and think, and sometimes almost convince yourself it's not your daughter's funeral, it's somebody else's. That we chose the largest mosque in Luton. We chose thousands of worshippers. It was completely full. We were told by one of the long-term serving members in the female section, she'd been working there for 14 years, that never in the 14 years that she'd been there had she seen so many women attend a funeral before. It was completely packed. They had to find different floors, and it was amazing. And they did an amazing speech, which they don't normally do, because they'd been so moved by Amani's, wish to make a change, that they did a lovely little talk about, what she'd achieved, and we were really moved by it.
The inspiration she gave to others is truly wonderful. It must be offering you great comfort.
I thought we've been, for those who go through this journey, we have been grieving for 22 months from the day our daughter was diagnosed, and watching her so slowly deteriorate and lose her faculties, her ability to walk, her ability to see. The brain is probably our most precious organ, not the heart. And to watch your beautiful daughter, confident daughter, lose those faculties is really painful. And you get to the point where you're virtually broken by the end. And then to get to that point, and then when you get all these messages, have this immense pride in your daughter and say, and this is my daughter, and she's achieved so much and touched so many people, has really, really helped us.
Her friends have started a fundraiser, haven't they, to build a mosque, a water well, and a school in her name, and it nearly has already, £100,000. I mean, that's amazing. How does that make you feel?
I mean, to be honest, I wasn't sure, whether we wanted to do this, because people have been so generous to us when we did the original fundraiser, and she's already had, previously 21 wells made in her name, and it's helping people around the world. And we're so moved that people still want to help Amani build a school and make a change for children in the future in poverty-stricken areas around the world, which is amazing. And of course, just before she passed away, the Tuesday before she passed away, as you probably, some of you listeners may know, she was awarded her master's for the social work that she was trying to complete her, her master's in. They came to her house and they awarded to her. And that the days before, she'd been on high doses of morphine and other painkillers, and she was hardly speaking. But that day, she didn't take any morphine, and she's able to articulate like she normally does. And we saw her beautiful smile from behind the pain, and it was a really, really special day for us, and more importantly for Amani. And really after that was kind of like her last hurrah kind of thing. And she declined very quickly after that. I mean, we'd also received a telephone call saying that she's been put forward, or somebody's nominated her to carry the Commonwealth flame later this year before the Commonwealth Games. Obviously, sadly, she won't be able to do that. But we're hoping that maybe her sisters will be able to do that for her. But it just made her so proud when we told her. It brought a little smile to her face.
Honestly, the inspiration she has been. I know you've received those messages, and like I said, over 1,000 people at her funeral. When she was on the show speaking, so we had so many messages afterwards. She truly was an amazing lady. If anybody wants to, get involved in the fundraiser or find out more information, where do they need to go, sir?
There's a Just Giving page. How can I? Basically, if you just go onto her Instagram, you'll probably find a link there. That's probably the easiest thing. On her Fight for Amani Instagram, there'll be a link to her fundraising page and Fight for Hope.
But listen, I really appreciate you joining us on the show this morning. And once again, from all of our listeners, our deepest condolences. Obviously, it's very, very, very sad time, but thank you so, so much for joining us on the show this morning, sir.
And thank you so much for supporting Amani and helping promote this worthy cause. We need a change for brain cancer. Treatment's not changed for 40, 50 years. Neil Armstrong's daughter pretty much got the same treatment my daughter did when she was diagnosed with glioblastoma in the 1960s, and nothing much changed since Tessa Jowell passed away in 2017. So really, we've got a long, long way to go. And if Amani can do a little bit, to push that cause, then, we're just been immensely proud of her.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you.